From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Micah Halpern, sitting in for Teisha Bader here with the JBS News Update for Friday, March 31st, 2017. The Arab Summit finished up this week. It was agreed that the only solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a two-state solution. King Abdullah of Jordan said in his summit address that a Palestinian state cannot be created without a two-state solution. This is groundbreaking. The idea that the vast majority of Arab leadership publicly recognize two states is noteworthy. To put it bluntly, two states means Israel and the Palestinian state. This was officially the recognition of Israel by Arab leadership. Chinese President Xi Jinping will visit President Trump in Mar-a-Lago on April 6th and 7th. This will be the first meeting between these two presidents. It's important to note that while the visit will take place in the United States, not in China, it will be taking place in the president's Florida residence, not in the White House. During the campaign, Trump often made reference to the unfair money and trade manipulation that China engaged in against the U.S. But campaign rhetoric and promises quickly fade away after the candidate assumes the presidency and faces priorities of leadership. No doubt they will discuss North Korea. The U.S. president needs to work with China to stop North Korea. The potential danger that North Korea poses is a top priority. China is North Korea's neighbor, and North Korea cares what China thinks. They fear China. The United States and China need to be on the same page now because North Korea, when it flexes its muscles, is dangerous. Before ISIS and Al-Qaeda, there was Carlos, a.k.a. the Jackal. Carlos was the greatest terrorist of the 70s and 80s. He was a terrorist for hire. His employers were mostly Palestinians, Soviets, and other communist leaders in their states. This week, Carlos was convicted by a French court and sentenced to life in prison for blowing up a shopping mall in Paris in 1974. This was Carlos's third life sentence for murder and terror. Carlos called the entire trial absurd, and that is exactly what he said during his plea before sentencing. He made fun of a trial convened 42 years after the crime. An Israeli Arab was indicted for sending money to an ISIS fighter in Iraq. Fadl Saber Knaneh is a 25-year-old man whose brother Mohammed joined ISIS in Syria. Fadl's brother Mohammed was killed. Fadl found out about his brother's death via a message which came from a mutual friend named Mohammed Kehlani, who was also fighting for ISIS either in Syria or Iraq. In early March 2017, Kehlani told Fadl Knaneh that he was injured and needed money. Knaneh went to Money Changer in Jenin and transferred 5,000 new Israeli shekels, which equals $1,300 to Kehlani in Iraq. And for that, he was arrested. Iran is sanctioning companies that are doing business with Israel. The companies include Bental, United Technology Products, ITT Corporation, Raytheon, Remax Real Estate, Magnum Research Inc., Oshkosh Corporation, Ka Arms, and Elbit Systems. Many of these companies are Israel-oriented with major Israeli sections. Iran is responding to the United States sanctions imposed against them after a series of missile tests. Iranian media covered the decision by the Foreign Ministry to ban these companies from doing business in Iran. Iran has also threatened to declare the CIA and the U.S. Army as terrorist organizations. Egypt has started protecting their Christians. When an anti-Christian incident took place in the ancient city of Luxor, police stepped in to control the mob. 8 protesters were arrested, 7 protesters were injured. 4 police were also injured. Muslims were marching on a Christian home, and the police found out about it, stepped in to protect the family inside the home. The motivation for the protest was a rumor that the Christian teenager had converted to Islam. It was rumored that his parents were holding him and punishing him for the conversion and trying to influence him to change back. The family denies all of this. Had the police not stepped in, the crowd would have lynched the family. This is history in the news. The head of the SS, Heinrich Himmler, sent a telegram to the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem in the fall of 1943. That is 1 year after the Mufti was Hitler's guest in Berlin. It was found in the National Archives of Israel, and it attests to the ideological links between the Nazis and the Arab world. It reads, "To the Grand Mufti Amin al-Husseini, the National Socialist Movement of Greater Germany has made its fight against world Jewry a guiding principle since its very beginning. For that reason, it has been closely following the battle of freedom-seeking Arabs, and especially in Palestine against the Jewish invaders." Himmler continued, "The joint recognition of the enemy and the joint battle against him are what creates a firm allegiance between Germany and the freedom-seeking Muslims all over the world. Himmler concluded, "In this spirit, I am happy to wish you, on the first anniversary of the Balfour Declaration, warm wishes for the continuation of your battle until the big victory." Himmler got his history wrong. The Balfour Declaration was in 1917. And taking a look at the programming for tonight, at 6, it's live Shabbat services from New York City's Central Synagogue. At 7:30, Taras Band performs at the 24th Annual Jewish Cultural Festival in Krakow, Poland. At 8, author, philosopher, Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz speaks at the 92nd Street Y. At 9, it's the film Deadly Honor. At 10, a look at how Israel is represented in the media. And at 10:30, it's Musica. And coming up, right after this broadcast at 5:30, Shlomo Riskin looks at this week's Torah portion. I'm Micah Halpern, and this is today's news update from JBS.